Hey everybody, Dave Ward here. Super excited today because I went surfing this morning and it was rad, but also because I am cooking up one of my favorite delicious, nutritious snacks, which is this little hunk of gold here, which is a Shakeology Fat Bomb. And I want to just take a brief second. I'm not going to go into any big detail here. Talk about why I'm telling you to mix something incredibly healthy and low calorie like Shakeology with a bunch of butter. So here's the deal. This is part of a high fat, low carbohydrate, moderate protein nutrition plan. Some people refer to it as paleo. It's also grain free. It's the easiest way to really limit the carbs. You just don't eat grains. Lately people have been calling it keto. That's the new popular way to refer to this, and that's really because of a body process called ketosis. And essentially, if you deprive your body of carbs and instead feed it healthy fats, it will go into a fat burning mode. To sort of simplify things, you can teach your body how to burn carbs and sugar, or you can teach them how to burn fat. It'll do either one. It doesn't burn carbs very efficiently, and if you overload it with carbs, you can end up really screwing up your insulin process, which is how people become type 2 diabetics. Conversely, body's super efficient at burning fat, and when you're eating a higher fat diet, you naturally keep your calories under control. I mean, if you just think about, have you ever eaten like a stick of butter? This Kerrygold butter, by the way, is the bomb. Probably not. Have you ever eaten a whole bag of chips? I know I have. I used to eat like a fun size or party size bag of Doritos almost every day when I was in college. How can you eat that much? This is like 2,000 calories and this is like 800. How can you eat that much carb? Because they don't fill you up. But fat does. And so it satiates you, so you end up eating less, which is why you've probably seen people who put, like I do, put a little bit of butter and some coconut oil in their coffee in the morning. It's so we can have a longer fast. I'll probably talk about intermittent fasting in another video. Have a longer fast, and it just kind of makes you feel satiated or full. So let's talk about the Shakeology Fat Bomb and how to make these little hunks of gold. So you need a few things in order to be able to do this. The first one is like an ice. This is just an ice tray. It's like for those big cubes you put in bourbon, and you need one of those. Then you really need a mixing bowl of some kind. That's going to be really, really important. You're trying to mix this by hand. You could maybe do it. Using a blender, it was pretty comical the first time I tried to make these. I used a blender. Ingredients are really pretty basic. We have our melted Kerrygold grass-fed butter. This is another thing about this style of eating, is it really focuses on best quality food. Organic foods, grass-fed meats, grass-fed butter, organic coconut oil in this case. Here I've got about 5 ounces of melted grass-fed butter, that Kerrygold, again, is the bomb, and a big spoonful of coconut oil. And I'm just gonna add that. So good. And then we have Shakeology. Now I'm gonna use regular whey protein chocolate Shakeology. You could also, I've done it with the vegan one as well. If you've ever had these two, the difference is that the vegan one is not made with whey protein because that's dairy. It's made with things like rice protein and pea protein and quinoa and a bunch of other protein sources. And it's a little gritty, just a little bit gritty. And I actually like that in a shake. I just like the consistency of it better than I do this more creamy one. But for these things, I think the regular one is better. So I've got about 2.5 scoops of regular chocolate Shakeology, 2.5, whatever, something like that. Not super precise. I add a couple of scoops of the Shakeology Boost, which is Power Greens. One of the reasons I do that, these are just super healthy. This is kind of like, if you just mix it up in water, it tastes kind of like a shot of wheatgrass. And it's just greens, super good for you. I also, again, I just like the flavor. I like the, it's not as sweet, you know, and the regular one for me is a little bit sweet, so I like this, which makes the regular one taste a lot more like the vegan, but I get the texture that I'm looking for with this. Then a scoop of digestive health. This is dietary fiber. One of the things as I got into making these fat bombs Been doing this for a little while. And I started to look up this recipe, and it was just like butter. The first batch I made was butter, coconut oil, and cacao powder. That was it. And I found that they upset my stomach. It was just too rich. I couldn't handle it. And I started noticing that generally, like eating higher fat, I need some fiber. I need something just to kind of cut it. And that's the dietary fiber, dietary health, or what is it? Digestive health boost is what I use for that. It's about as complicated as turning on the mixer. Probably gonna drive my dog nuts here, let's see. Kind of hates the noise. And then you're just mixing it up. You're looking for a consistency that you're gonna have to like scoop it out with a spoon, smooth it over on the top, and then you just put them in the refrigerator. Oh, I just remembered, I'm gonna add a scoop of almond butter that I have in the fridge. But that's really it. Mix it up in the mixing bowl. Get the consistency you want. That looks a little dry, so I might just add a little bit of coconut milk to that, just to kind of make it a little creamier. And you're looking for like a very thick pudding type of consistency. Scoop it up into your little deal. Then I have one of these, usually kind of midday snackish, you know, that 2 p.m. whatever snack, and then right before bed. And that is just a great way to go to bed for me. Because I fast, it's about a 16 to 18 hour fast, typically. So I like to have that, that's the last thing I eat. It's like super nutritious, nice high fat, makes me full. I can go until noon and without eating, which is typically kind of what I do. So there you go, Shakeology Fat Bombs. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you found it informative, and I hope you enjoy them. If you make the recipe and you come up with any cool variations, make sure you let me know about it. All right, guys, talk to you later.